Okay, today we're going to learn how to use the Cryac, so how to load it with liquid nitrogen and then actually use it. And so I should have a pair of goggles, which I do have, especially when loading it and unloading it. And I also should have an insulated glove, which unfortunately I don't have. So you'll have to pretend that I have one. Okay, so let's read number 1.
So when loading the Cryac, be sure it is empty first. Do this by depressing the trigger. If no material comes out, pull up on the pressure release valve.
Okay, so first of all, material came out, so it's not empty, so probably you don't need to refill it. And it's actually unsafe to refill it when there's material inside it, but we're going to do it for the sake of the video to demonstrate. So here I'm going to push on the pressure release, and you hear stuff coming out, and you see stuff coming out, and it actually hurts me because it's very cold. Okay.
So you make sure that you do this holding it away from your eyes and away from other people's eyes with an insulated glove, as gas can be under high pressure and spray out at the fingers touching the valve and at your eyes. If no gas escapes, it is safe to unscrew the container lid. Unscrewing the lid without first releasing the pressure valve can also result in spraying of the cold liquid onto exposed skin and at your eyes.
Okay, so I'm at risk now for the purposes of this video. I'm going to open it, but you're going to hear all the funny sounds and stuff like that. But I should be wearing protective gloves. Oops. Okay, so stuff's spraying out. It's kind of under high pressure and stuff. Okay, but I made it. Okay, so, and now if you can look inside here, there's liquid nitrogen in there. Okay, so now I have it open, so go ahead.
So we're going to load the liquid nitrogen to the uncapped Cryac container, which is insulated. Be sure to use an insulated glove when dipping into the stock container with a ladle. Okay, again, I'm going to know that I'm not in liquid nitrogen because I'm going to feel this touch the liquid nitrogen before my hand. So and this makes it well on its a good distance between the hand and the liquid nitrogen. So first there's a cap. And there's an insulated styrofoam thing here. You take that out, okay? And now you want to go in here and look downward. Okay, I mean, get your head out of the way though. You just use your... Okay, and I'm going down into the mist and you hear it touch. And now it's in there, okay? I filled the cup. Okay, I should again have a glove, but I don't, so now I'm just going to pour it in. Alright, great. And now I'm going to put the styrofoam on first, and then this, and I cap it. And again, I should have protective gloves because if this spills, then I'm going to get a blistering wound all over my hand. Okay, so just continue reading from wherever you left off, and if you double, it's okay. So you replace the styrofoam lid onto the stock container of the liquid nitrogen, then replace the lid onto the Cryac. When freezing a lesion, place a Cryac nozzle at a short distance, say 1 centimeter away from the lesion.
Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to have another video explaining how to actually showing a lesion that we're going to freeze, but for now I'm just going to have a pretend lesion, which is man, we don't have any gloves here. Okay. We're going to use this as the pretend lesion, and I'm going to wet it so that you can see that it's going to freeze. Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, go ahead.
So, when freezing a lesion, place the Cryac nozzle a short distance, 1 centimeter away from the lesion. Depress the trigger for a very short instant only. See what kind of area the freezing makes. Do you see that it makes a certain area freeze there? Okay, and if I hold it for a long time, the area of freezing goes more. See, it expands more than you originally thought. So if I just do it like that, you see, I see where it appears, and I can maintain a certain diameter with just a spritz. And if I do it too long, I think I'm getting just one area, but really it's going to spread too far. So if I go 1, 2, 3. The frost appears in a larger circle than maybe my intended lesion. You see it's appearing all around here instead of just in the center. So I want to just spritz it, let the white form. I see where the white formed. And now if I just want to keep a certain diameter, I keep feeding it just to that certain diameter. Okay.
So go ahead, read.
So the borders of a wart or actinic keratosis will be better outlined once they're frozen. Note that the tissue will continue to freeze even after you let go of the trigger. So always let go of the trigger before you get to the 1 to 2 millimeter outer boundary of the target area. Keep feeding the target area with short pulses of spray to maintain the desired area of freezing.
Okay, so here, right, for example, we have this wart here, and I just need to get it there. If I go like that, it goes too far. Okay, now I have to let it defrost until it goes back into the circle of the lesion. That's going to take a little time in this case. But now I can just give one little spritz, another little spritz. You see, now I can just maintain this with spritzes. Okay.
So the pulses should be dictated by the visual diameter of the area of freezing, not by the passing of seconds. A common error is to blast the lesion initially with a long blast before you gauge how much freezing will occur, or if you are even on target. Avoid this error by using short initial test pulse.
That's wrong, whereas that is correct. See, I just short test pulse, short test pulse. I see how much freezing is created by a little pulse. If I need more, I can add more. I wait until the maximum expansion of frost, and then only then I feed a little more. But I don't keep, if it's expanding still, I don't keep freezing it because it's going to continue to expand. So I need to freeze it just enough so I know where it expands, and that's going to be it. And sometimes you want just 1 millimeter around the wart. So let's say the outer circle is the outer part of the wart, so this is about right for how much freezing you'd want for that lesion. A little bit outside the border. Okay, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now another way of doing this is, and of course it's nicer to use you know, real life lesion, but you can do this with a Q-tip. So sometimes kids get really freaked out by the spray and the sound and stuff like that. So okay, so instead you put it in a styrofoam cup. Now of course I didn't come prepared with a styrofoam cup. That's too bad, but we do have a cup here, and so that's going to have to do. Alrighty, and you can use two, so that's kind of a little bit of insulation. And basically you pour this in. Do we have a cotton tip applicator here? We should get that. Okay, so we're gonna... Okay, so an alternative to spraying, because some children may be frightened by the hissing sound of that, you open this again. And again, this should be done technically with a protective glove, and certainly with goggles, because it can spray in your eyes. And ideally, you put it in a styrofoam cup. I'm gonna use this so we can see the level of the liquid nitrogen and see about how long it takes for the stuff to evaporate. Because you don't have all that much time from the time it's in the cup to the time you do the procedure, because the stuff will evaporate. Okay, so you have a cotton tip applicator, and it's probably best to do this first. You got to pull the cotton a little bit off the tip so that it can actually soak up some of the liquid. So this just requires loosening the cotton from the tip, and you know, different people are a little better at it. You just kind of have to loosen it off there, and this should be enough. It's poofy. You can see it. Can you focus in on there? Mm-hmm. It's zoomed in. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little poofy. So now I put this here, and you just dab it onto... I wonder if you can freeze the... Well, I gotta find a better thing to freeze. So we'll use the paper towel again, because that was a good example. Okay, so if you have a lesion you'd like to freeze, you just put it on there, and you actually have to push down a decent amount, and you have to keep on re-dabbing, and you push down hard, and you have the freezing, the desired level of freezing. Now, if you push down just gently, that's all well and good, but you're not going to get as deep a freeze as if you really push down and then redip and then push down. And the idea here is you count for 30 seconds. So you want to keep it, whether you're spraying, okay, whether you're spraying something and keeping a certain circle, okay, or whether you are putting the Q-tip and making a certain circle, you want this circle to be there for about 30 seconds, for a wart. Different lesions have different time commitments that you need to freeze it for. And so I would count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi until 30 seconds, and then I let it defrost completely, and then I'd start it again for another cycle. So we place the liquid nitrogen in the styrofoam cup, pull the tightly woven cotton away from the cotton tip applicator so there's a little bushy. It allows the cotton to absorb some of the liquid nitrogen. Dip the applicator into the cup, apply it to the lesion in question. The lesion should become white from the ice that condensed upon it to 1 to 2 millimeters beyond its border. Pardon the phone, it's okay. With actinic keratoses and warts, the lesion borders become outlined. With actinic keratoses and warts, the lesion borders become outlined more often than normal skin due to the contrast between the whiteness of the lesion versus the whiteness of the normal surrounding skin. Anyway, you want to maintain that white circle by reapplying the cotton tip applicator to and from the liquid nitrogen cup. So we had demonstrated that before. You just keep on going back and forth as needed. Strong pressure of the cold tip onto the skin is often required to induce and maintain freezing. This process will sting and induce throbbing. That's true, but at least it's silent. And the duration of freeze depends upon the lesion being frozen. For warts, it is 30 seconds. For actinic keratoses, 10 seconds. For solar lentigines, 5 to 10 seconds. And for seborrheic keratoses, 5 to 10 seconds. The lesion should be allowed to thaw. Different lesions need to have repeat cycles of freeze-thaw, so it just depends on the thing you're doing. When thawing, don't use the heat of your finger to make it thaw more quickly. Part of the therapeutic effect of the cryotherapy is the slow thawing of the lesion, which induces edema, resulting in the desired blister formation over the coming 24 hours. For warts, 2 to 3 cycles. For actinic keratoses, 1 to 2 cycles. For solar lentigines, 1 cycle. And for seborrheic keratoses, 1 to 2 cycles is required. So those are the different cycles. And with respect to safety, be sure the cup of liquid nitrogen does not spill on you. When disposing of extra liquid nitrogen, it can be gently tossed on the floor, where it will spread around the floor as it is evaporating. Now you see, there's still some stuff in the cup. There's ice around the cup. I can take this one out, and you can see there's ice around the cup. And so now just look on the floor. So it looks cool. And you just gently spill it on the floor, and it goes everywhere and doesn't harm anybody. And that's it. Okay, we're done.